Hello guys, and welcome to another video. So in today's video I would like to talk about happiness. So first of all, I would like to tell you that everyone has its own definition of happiness. For example, person A is happy when this person has become a millionaire. Person B is happy when this person is getting married and afterwards will get children. Or for example, person C is happy when this person has become a famous YouTuber. So, of course, everyone has his own definition of happiness. But in today's video, I would like to share with you guys what I do to be happy. The first thing is that we should really focus on what we have instead of focusing what we don't have. Why? Because the thing is, we live really in a world where we keep comparing ourselves with other people, and this is really unhealthy. Instead of appreciating what we already have, we only want to look for things what we don't have, and the thing is that the result will be that we will never be happy, we will never be satisfied. So I can talk about my own experience. For example, I always wanted, for example, to reach that goal, and the thing is, even if I reached my goal, instead of appreciating what I reached, I was just focusing on the next thing, what I didn't have, respectively what I don't have. And this really sad, because the thing is that we are going to start to take all the things that we have for granted and we don't appreciate it. And this is also a reason why I do think many people are unhappy, because we always want to have everything. But the truth is that it is quite impossible to have everything, Why? Because the thing is that if you want to reach something, it takes time. And also the other thing is that if you keep looking what you don't have, you cannot be happy. I would say the biggest toxic place is social media. Why? Because on social media, everyone shares with other people their perfect lives, that everything is really good, and they never show you the bad sides of their life. And when we consume that, we often have the feeling that our life is not really that good. And so, we only want to focus what we don't have. I just want to tell you that, every time when I feel sad, I start also to think that I should be happy that I'm healthy. Health is very important. It cannot be bought. I should be happy that I have a roof over my head. I should be happy that I was born in a really good country and that I always have opportunities, that I always have some options. So I just want to let you know, guys, that maybe your current situation might be someone else's dream. For example, I have a roof over my head and still I am not happy. But the thing is that maybe this is the dream of a homeless person, to have a roof over your head. Or for example, my health, I am a healthy person, but instead of appreciating my health, I just keep looking for things that I don't have. But maybe for a person who is about to die, maybe my current situation of being healthy, I think this is the biggest dream of that person. So guys, we have to value what we have. Really, we should do that. Because again, your current situation might be somebody else's big dream. Of course, it is completely okay to focus what we don't have, but not too much. Because again, if you do it too much, this can really damage you mentally. And so guys, this is the first thing that I do when I feel unhappy, that I should really appreciate what I have, because someday when we don't have these things, we will think about that back, and then we will start regretting that, because we're going to say, for example, like, man, I should have appreciated more. For example, everyone knows that, for example, that when somebody is really sick, for example, somebody is lying on their bed, then this person is also going to think like, man, I really do miss the days where I wasn't really sick, And this is the reason why we should really be happy what we have. Okay, so this is the first thing I would like to share with you guys. Another thing that I would like to talk about is also how important it is to spend some time being alone, respectively how to be okay being alone. Because the thing is, I have the feeling that we are living in a time where it is so important to have so many social interactions. And I really do understand that, because we are human beings, we are made to be social. But the thing is that also at the same time, you don't really know who you are. Or especially, you don't really know what you want to do in your life. I know this may sound so weird, but the thing is, when I was a student, I spent so many times being alone. And the thing is, it was really a good opportunity for me, because I discovered so many new things about myself. I learned how to be independent. I also learned how to be responsible for my own happiness, because the thing is, it is so important that your happiness should not be dependent on another person. For example, there's one thing I would like to talk about, and you should not misunderstand me. But the thing is, when someone is telling me like someday the white person will come, the thing is, it is completely wrong, because the white person has always been me. And so, this so-called white person, it is only a person who can add more happiness into my life. But this person should not complete my life completely. I mean, you do understand what I want to say, that it is nothing bad being alone. It is nothing bad. There's big difference between being alone and being lonely. Being alone is more like it is your own choice. You decide to be alone. And loneliness is like being alone, but it was an unwanted decision. So, what about being alone? Being alone, you learn so many things about yourself. For example, you learn what you want to do with your life. You also learn, for example, what are you interested in? For example, when I was being alone, it was the first time where I discovered that I was really into languages. And I was really surprised, because before that, I really hated learning languages, Language learning was really, I would say, a big point for me, because I was really bad at languages at school. When I started learning languages, I thought like, wow, it was really quite interesting. And the thing is, I discovered that when I was completely alone, because I had no social interactions. Or for example, I've been to 15 countries alone, 15 countries alone. This is really insane. Because the thing is, some people ask me like, weren't there moments where I felt lonely? Of course there were some moments, I'm being honest with you. But, I was getting used to it. And the thing is, when I was alone in 15 countries, I learned so many things about myself. For example, how to be responsible, how to be independent, and also how, I would say, okay, this may sound really weird, but how to date myself. When I talk about dating, we always think of two people, having a good time, which is really good. But I mean, not a lot of people are talking about dating yourself, solo date. And guys, I mean, there's nothing wrong about, for example, going alone to a restaurant and eating something, or going alone to the cinema, or for example, I don't know, going alone to the cafeteria and watch some YouTube videos. There's nothing wrong about that. Actually, it's really good, because, the thing is, why are we even afraid of being alone? I mean, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you hate yourself? Be honest. Do you really hate yourself? If you don't hate yourself, then why do you have a problem being alone? Why is there a problem? When I start to think about that, I start to realize that maybe the answer why many people are afraid of being alone is that they don't like themselves. There's no self-love. And so the thing is, instead of improving your self-love, maybe many people tend to spend some time with friends, family, and something like that, which is completely okay. I really do understand that. That's nothing wrong, I'm just only talking about my own opinion, okay? So my opinion is not a general thing, I mean, if you do not agree with me, that's no problem. But I just want to tell you that, for example, I do think that I've made so many progress, so many improvements while being alone. Yeah, for example, language learning, or for example, my studying. Okay, of course, there were some friends who helped me, but mainly I studied on my own. Or for example, fitness, many things I did mainly on my own, being alone. Why? Because I discovered what kind of person I was. And also I discovered that, happiness, it should really come from you. And that you can control your happiness. And that not somebody else can control your happiness. That's why I really don't like when someone says that the right person will come because the right person has always been me. And that's why I do think it's so important to date yourself many times, because this will also increase your self-love. In the beginning, I was really afraid of being alone. I was really afraid. But then, when I discovered really the beauty of that, the calmness, and also the beauty of the solitude, I thought really like, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. And no one is going to judge me, And also, which is really important, is that when you start loving yourself, then you're going to be more social. Okay, this may sound a little bit weird, but the thing is, the more time I spend being alone, the more I develop, the more I improve my self-love, and also I became more social when I was talking to people. Why? Because I like myself. The way how you treat people reflects also the way how you think about yourself. For example, if you respect people, if you treat people respectfully, then you also treat yourself respectfully. The thing is, I do believe that you should treat people the same way like you want yourself to be treated, I mean, if you treat people poorly, this means that you have a poor relationship with yourself. This is my own opinion. If you do not agree with me, that's no problem. And that's why it's important to spend some time being alone. It's really important. You learn so many things. This increases your happiness, but again, do not abuse it, okay? I mean, if you spend too much time being alone, this can really damage your mental health because, like I said in the beginning, actually we are made to be social because human beings are actually social creatures, But do not underestimate the power of being alone, of being comfortable alone. This is peaceful. This is why I do think we should really spend so much time to be alone. Not too many time, but I would say, a good amount of time, just to learn more about yourself. And this also improves your self-improvement. This is my own opinion. Again, I'm sharing with you guys only with my own experiences because, being 15 countries alone. I mean, for example, I've been to Japan 1 month completely alone. This was insane, but man, I really learned that the world is so big. I mean, the world is really a big place. And I also understood that actually my problems, my worry, were really, really small. I was thinking like, why should I limit my problem only, in a small country like Luxembourg? While I know that there's a big world waiting for me. This is why I do think that it's so important to travel, to see that life has much to offer than to sit, for example, in my bedroom and be sad all the time, for example. Yes, so about happiness, you should learn to be independent and also to be responsible on your own happiness. And again, if the right person will come, it is good, it will add more value to your life, but if not, that's not the end of the world, That's not the end of the world, And also, dating yourself, this has been the best thing in my life. It is so weird that I'm saying that, but before that, I was thinking like dating yourself, this would be a big waste of time, but it turned out that I was completely wrong. Thankfully. Yes, thankfully. And the last thing that we learned is that, I'm going to say in that way, okay? So we all are going to die someday. And the thing is that, since death is inevitable, we should really enjoy our life, That, for example, if there are some things that you always wanted to do, just give it a shot. Even if you would fail, it's okay. At least you have tried out, It's so important. It is so important, to try different things out, and also don't worry if it becomes perfect or not. For example, about languages, I mean, when I picked up learning languages, in the beginning, I didn't really care if I was perfect or not. I was just focusing on the progress. And this is something I would like to tell you guys, we should learn to try new things, We should learn to try new things. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. At least we have tried it. We have tried it, and then maybe it's nothing for you, but you have tried out, and then you can go to do the next thing, for example, like that, That I just want to tell you that, guys, I mean, we have so much time, and also we live in a world where it is really possible to learn anything what we want, I mean, we only have to use the internet, and then we can learn, for example, a new skill, and that completely for free. If there are some things that you've always wanted to try, then just do it right now, Because the thing is, in the end of our life, we're all going to die. And the thing is that, everyone is going to die, but not everyone lives. And this is also a thing that also, when I get sad, I'm also asking myself, like, do I really want to spend my time being sad all the time? Because the thing is, it's not worth it. I mean, it's normal sometimes to be sad. I'm also sometimes sad, but I always try, to be happy. It is not forced happiness, but just, just to relax, and also to think, especially to realize that not everyone is perfect, I mean, not everyone has figured everything out. And this is really important, Just try new things out, and also just enjoy your life, Just enjoy your life, and do not have huge expectations. I'm not perfect either, For example, I've been doing YouTube now for more than 1 year, and guys, I mean, I'm really a small YouTuber, I haven't gotten 1,000 subscribers, or my channel has not been monetized, but I don't care. I don't care, because I really enjoy that. To be honest, it is quite nice to see my own videos, again, my old videos. And sometimes I'm really surprised that there were really some people who were watching my old videos and also decide to subscribe my channel, which I'm really thankful for that. We should learn to try some things out, and you never know what might happen in the future. You never know. For example, about languages, it's something I've been doing that now for 6 years. And never in my life I would have thought that someday I would be making YouTube content about language learning and also traveling and some stuff like that. So, and this makes me happy. Okay, just one thing, okay? It is of course normal to be sometimes sad. This could be normal. I mean, this would be a little bit weird. So, what are my methods to be happy, respectively to keep being happy? So the first one is we should focus on what we have instead of focusing on what we don't have. Of course, sometimes it's okay, to think about those things, but really guys, do not overthink that, because this can really damage your mental health. Second thing, spend really some time being alone, because being alone does not mean loneliness. I mean, if you really like being alone, then you're more independent and you have much more freedom, and also there's no risk of putting your happiness on another person, because the thing is, you are responsible on your own happiness, which is really good. And the last thing is that just try different things out and enjoy your life. If there's some things you want to try it out, just do it, and don't have really huge expectations, because the thing is that nobody's perfect. And also, which is really important, is that we should also not care what other people think about us, because in the end of our life, we are all going to die. And in the eyes of death doesn't care if I'm rich, poor, or something like that. And so therefore, instead of wasting our time, worrying what other people might think about us, please guys, please really, just try something which makes you happy. This is really important because again, we're all going to die, but not everyone lives. So I really do hope that this video might help you. And so the thing is that actually I don't do those kind of videos, but I do think it is really important topic to talk about because you know, even though a lot of us live in really rich countries, and even though we are really privileged, we often tend to forget those things. Why? Because again, I'm going back to number one, we focus on what we don't have. And this is really bad. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video and see you next time. Bye.